Before boarding plane checklist. Check that the runway is long enough for our type of aircraft. Check for obstacles or objects in physical mode on the runway. If we are going to carry passengers, check that they have limited their weight in scripts. Plan the route to be made and checking the regions to be crossed. When complete your flight plan, send it to ATS Dependencies for approbation. Use the program Zello, via Second Life Grid ATC. Weather, see Second Life Grid status. Map radar and NOTAM, see Share Good Aviation. Make the walk around the plane. Before boarding plane check complete. Pre-start checklist. If available, put power on, battery on, start GPU, cabin light on, panel light on, cockpit light on, beacon light on, strobe light on, timer on, standby, FMC on, flight instruments on, transponder on, standby, logbook on, standby, fuel on. Unlink jet bridge or finger, if it is linked to door. All doors closed. Parking brake on. Throttle idle. Gear lever down. Flaps up. Left and right gen switches off. Hear the departure airport ATIS and copy the code, Alpha, Bravo. Send to ground ATC the flight plan for approval via voice. Send to Grid Talkie the flight plan for approval via chat. Contact to ground ATC and copy the info provided via voice. Contact to Grid Talkie and copy the info provided via chat. FMC, set the flight plan on FMC box. Then click button Flight Plan. Transponder, set call sign, squawk, and flight plan. Logbook, set flight number. Click button Passengers. Pre-start check complete. Start up checklist. Thrust lever idle. Engine area clear. English 1 start switch hold on. English 2 start switch hold on, and others if has. Brake on. Send to ground ATC request start up via voice. Send to Grid Talkie request start up via chat. Start engine 1. Stop GPU. Start engine 2, and others if has. Navigation and taxi lights on. Start up check complete. Pushback checklist. Send to ground ATC request pushback via voice. Send to Grid Talkie request pushback via chat. See back for if the area is clear. Brake off. Start reverse. Put the aircraft in the correct taxiway. Brake on. Pushback check complete. Before taxi checklist. FMC, confirm set waypoints, QNH, distance, and ILS. Flight instruments, confirm that all is OK. Airport diagram, see the taxiways to holding point. Send to ground ATC request taxi via voice. Send to Grid Talkie request taxi via chat. Before taxi check complete. Taxi checklist. Parking brake off. Start engine to 5%, 5 to 10 knots. Taxi to assigned holding point. Flight instruments and brakes, check during taxi. Stop at holding point. Parking brakes on. Taxi check complete. Before takeoff checklist. Send to ground ATC standing at holding point via voice. Send to Grid Talkie standing at holding point via chat. Send to Tower ATC request takeoff via voice. Send to grid talkie request takeoff via chat. Brakes off. Line up runway and center the plane. Brakes on. Throttle idle. Flaps down. Takeoff data, V1 to 30 kT, VR, rotate, to 35 kT, V2 to 38 kT. Landing lights on. Transponder on, and set Alt. Timer on. Click on button takeoff in the FMC. Before takeoff check complete. Takeoff checklist. Thrust to 50%, 38 kT. Brakes off. Pick to 25° nose up. At positive climb rate, landing gear up, flaps up. Send to tower ATC airborne via voice. Send to grid talkie airborne via chat. Maintain 38 kT until you reach the first waypoint. Takeoff check complete. Approach checklist. When reach the app point, start the next protocol. Send to approach request final vector via voice. Send to approach with grid talkie final vector via chat. Landing lights on. Throttle to 15%, 20 kT. Maintain descent to 550 fpm. Check brakes off. Flaps down. Landing gear down. Nose, 0° to 2° up. QNH, check 300 feet up to TDZ point. ILS, align to middle runway point. Approach check complete. Landing checklist. Send to tower ATC request landing via voice. Send to tower ATC with grid talkie request landing via chat. QNH, check during descent minimum 150 feet 45 meters without obstacles. After touchdown apply reverse thrust. Use brakes if necessary. Cancel reverse thrust when reach 15 kT, then throttle to 5%. Landing check complete. Taxi to terminal or parking checklist. Vacated fast the runway for the next exit available. Send to ground ATC request stand via voice. Send to ground ATC with grid talkie request stand via chat. Click on button region say, FMC, and write arrival. Airport diagram, see the taxiways to stand assigned. Landing lights off. Speed, 5 to 10 kT. Transponder, set standby. Logbook, set remarks and turn off. Timer, write the flight time and turn off. Taxi to a CNAT stand and park the plane. Taxi to terminal or parking check complete. Shutdown checklist. Brake on. Throttle idle. Click button region say and write on terminal. Taxi lights off, navigation lights off, strobe lights off. FMC panel off, flight instruments off, transponder off. Door open, if necessary use jet bridge. Engine start switches off. Gen switches off. Send to ground ATC shutdown info via voice. Send to ground ATC with grid talkie shutdown info via chat. Disembark passengers, if we have. Panel light off, cockpit light off, cabin light off. Batmaster off. Power off. Copy and paste on note card the chat info how FDR, flight data register. Disembark pilots. Shutdown check complete.